Hello everyone and welcome to the part 2 of this series of important topics of polity for prelims 2026. So let us quickly revise what we have done in the previous video. So we have completed the governor's veto, president's reference case, governor's address, special intensive revisions, resignation of vice president, amendment to the preamble, Shanti Act and VBG Ramji Act. So now we are going to start with the removal procedure of Chief Election Commissioner. Removal of CEC. So it is mentioned under Article 324 subclause 5 that the procedure for removal of CEC will be same as the removal procedure of Supreme Court judge, which is mentioned in Article 124 subclause 4. What is this procedure? That Supreme Court judge is removed by moving a resolution by 100 members in Lok Sabha or 50 members in Rajya Sabha. Thereafter, a special inquiry committee is set up, which includes Judge of Supreme Court, the Chief Justice of High Court, and an eminent jurist. Thereafter, the resolution has to be passed by a special majority by both the houses, and if the resolution passes, then President gives assent to it, and then the judge will be removed from his office. So it is the first instance in March 2026 where a resolution for removal of a chief election commissioner is moved in the Lok Sabha. Until date, no chief election commissioner and no Supreme Court judge has been ever removed by this procedure. Now moving on to the removal procedure of Lok Sabha Speaker. Removal of Lok Sabha Speaker. A resolution for removal of Lok Sabha Speaker has also been moved. So what is the procedure for this? That 14 days notice has to be served first, and then there will be voting on this resolution, and it has to be passed by effective majority in Lok Sabha. Then the speaker held to be removed from his office. And it is mentioned in which article? It is mentioned under Article 19 subclause C. Till date, 3 resolutions for the removal of Lok Sabha speaker has been moved. The first one is against G.V. Mavlankar in 1954. Second one is against Sardar Hukam Singh in 1966. Third one is against Balram Jhakar in 1987. And the latest one against Om Birla in 2026. But no Lok Sabha speaker has never been removed through this procedure. Also note that the removal procedure for High Court judge is also same as Supreme Court judge, which is mentioned under Article 218, that the procedure is same as that mentioned for the Supreme Court judge, and the detailed procedure for this is mentioned in Judges Inquiry Act 1968. Now moving on to the next topic, which is about Article 3. which is in news because the name of state Kerala has been changed to Keralam. So this Article 3 mentions about that Parliament by law, Parliament by law can form a new state by separating territory from any state or by uniting any two states or a UT. Or it can increase the area or diminish the area, alter the boundary, alter the boundary and name of any state. How it is done? There are two preconditions: that it has to be moved on the prior recommendation of president. Recommendation of president, and first president has to seek the opinion of the state legislature that is concerned with that. President has to refer to concerned state legislature, and the time period in which the state legislature has to respond has to be mentioned in that recommendation. But the view of the state legislature is not binding or mandatory for the president. He can still refer the bill to the parliament for the change. So parliament does it by a simple majority, simple majority, and anything done under this Article 3 has not to be considered as an amendment under Article 368, which is mentioned in Article 4. And here note that in case of a union territory, the president does not require to con- does not require to consult the legislature of the union territory. Parliament can do it by their own. Now moving on to the next topic, which is expansion of scope of Article 21. So recently there has been a series of judgment in which the Supreme Court has expanded the scope of Article 21. First one is Dr. Jaya Thakur case. Jaya Thakur case 2026, in which Supreme Court has mentioned that menstrual health and hygiene is an integral part of right to life under Article 21, and ensuring the lack of facilities that restricts the educational access for girls, that is menstrual hygiene products, sanitary pads and something, it is the violation of Article 21A, that is right to free education. Another case is Haryana case 2026, in which court give assent to the passive euthanasia. Passive euthanasia, but court said that it is a harsh word to use, so instead this they have used the word withdrawal of life support system. Another important judgment is Ranjit Singh case of 2024, which is that right against adverse impacts of climate change. Climate change. It comes under Article 21 and 14. Moving on to the next one, that is about Article 19 and 25. So Uttarakhand government has put a ban on entry of non-Hindus on the Hindu religious institutions or places. So we have to look at these Article 19 and 25 and their restrictions on these articles. They are more important. So looking at the Article 19, it gives the right to freedom of speech. Article 19(1)(a), that is freedom of speech and expression. B is about peaceful assembly without arms. Peaceful assembly without arms. C is about a form association or union. Union or association. D is about right to freedom of movement. Movement. E is about reside and settle in any part of territory. Settle and reside. F is repealed. And G is about practice of profession. And 19 subclause 2 finds the restriction on freedom of speech and expression, which are interest of sovereignty and integrity of India, sovereignty and integrity of India, security of state, friendly relation with foreign state, friendly relation with foreign states, public order, decency, morality, public order, decency, morality, or contempt of court, defamation, or incitement of offense. Incitement of offense. Now, 19 subclause 3 finds restriction upon the subclause B, that is peaceful assembly. It is in interest of sovereignty and integrity of India. Interest in sovereignty and integrity of India. And public order. These are only restrictions. Then 19(4) finds the restriction on subclause C, that is about the association and unions. So it is named sovereignty and integrity of India, public order and morality. Public order and morality. 19(5) mentions the restriction upon D and E, that is movement and settlement. So these are interest of general public, and for the protection of interest of any scheduled tribe. Protect of interest of any scheduled tribe. And 19(6) it mentions the restriction on G, that is for the employment, that is professional or technical qualifications for any specific job. Now moving to Article 25, which is freedom of conscience profession, 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 practice and propagation, practice and propagation of religion. And what are the reasonable restrictions upon it? It is public order, morality and health. Morality and health. Now the next topic is Cabinet Committee on Security. So I have already made the video on it. So you can go to my YouTube channel and search for this video. Now the next one is that you have to do is Essential Commodities Act. Just look through it. The Commodities Act 1955. Just remember that this act is for curb the hoarding, offset retail inflation, and maintain the national food security. So the government has the power to control production, supply, distribution, and impose the stock limits, regulate the trade of certain specific products that needs to be protected. Like recent time, that is LPG cylinders. In times of COVID, it were masks and oxygen cylinders. So that's all about this. And next one is FCRA, that is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 1976. It was amended from time to time, that is 2010 and 2020 also. There is also a recent proposed amendment in 2026, because of which it is in. So this recent proposed amendment, it proposed a designated authority to manage the assets of the NGOs which are non-compliant or which have completed the time period for their FCRA certificates. So it can maintain their assets. Now let us look at some static topics that you have to mug up and you cannot forget them. First one is DPSPs. These are very important for this year. So remember every amendment to the DPSP and go through these words that have mentioned in the constitution itself. Another one is that these are very basic, but they can create a lot of confusion in exam time. So learn the schedules of constitution, parts, and major amendments also. Also look at the number of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha seats. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha seats, and at least look at them once and try to remember for the states in which the elections are going to held in recent times, like Assam, Kerala, Bihar, West Bengal. That's all for the polity section from my side. If you like the content, then hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe the channel, and provide your review in the comment section. Thank you for watching.